Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you, so see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. Because we're recording the evening, I've had the heating on, but the house has been... I haven't been in the house since last Thursday.
Really? So it's freezing.
Yeah, so I can hear the heating going, but I've just got to wait. Like, there's nothing I can do. I just got to wait. Like... So this is all my work gear, literally, because it's all warm because I've been wearing it. I was like, I'm not changing. I still got my hat on. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to leave it all on.
Yeah, keep it on. Keep the,
I can, all the blood all over my trousers. I got my slippers on though. They're boots.
Oh, okay.
Look like a fucking Indian. Boots. They're well comfy, man. I got them from Next last year, and I don't think they're doing them again this year. And these are like worn down. You know where like you can feel like your foot imprint at the bottom.
Mm.
Yeah, they're like.
And normally I get like, because I walk like a fucking penguin. Normally I get like one side's worn down, and then the other side's the full heel. Like I got a pair of trainers that I spent a lot of fucking money on, yeah, and I really like the look of them, but I have to stop wearing them as much because they're really worn down on one side, but the other side is nowhere near worn down. So now, if I carry on wearing them, eventually I'm going to get through the sole.
You have
to
put them on opposite feet.
Well, that's what Charlotte was like. You just need to walk straight. I'm like, I'm walking straight. It's just how my legs work.
We're just going to have to keep all this in now. Welcome, everyone. If you didn't realise, this is Two Men No Hope. I'm Daniel, that's Jamie, being a tit.
First world problems. One of my many pairs of trainers is my trainer collection is actually becoming a problem. It is becoming a problem. I'm having to... Do you know I had an issue with my hat storage? With the amount of hats I got. It's become an issue with trainers. Like all around this room, I've got 2 pairs of Jordans behind the camera. I've got a pair of like Louis Vuitton like little fake things. I've got another pair of Jordans that like just loads just dotted around. So when the cleaners come around the house, they must be like, is he like displaying them but just really shitly? And like, no, I'm not displaying them. They're just nowhere else to put them.
Wherever I took them off is where they sit. That's what happens with me. It looks like I've just stepped out of my shoes. They're just there.
I've got ones on shelves. Do you remember how I used to have it sitting behind me?
Yeah.
I've just got ones piled up on them shelves now.
Okay, now.
I need to sort this room out seriously. I talk about doing it every week and like having a proper background behind me for these videos, but I look at the room and I think, fuck you, and I close the door again.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day I was talking to a guy at work and I was saying about, I can't remember what we're talking about, but I got into the topic of wasted money.
And
I was like, my brain's so fucked up. I was like, I can go out shopping and I could go around shops and I could look at all these nice things. I could be like, nah, it's a waste of money. Nah, I'm not doing that. And then I think to myself, what do I want for dinner tonight? And then I'll go into Sainsbury's and spend £30 on like one meal because I'm a fucking nightmare. And I said to him,
it's stuff you don't really enjoy, really, when you're having it.
Well, no, because I was like, that's what cost me so much money because I see a TikTok thing and I'm like, I want to try that. So I just end up cooking off TikTok every day. So I said to him, I was like, if I didn't have my mum, I wouldn't have any clothes because I think clothes are a waste of money. So like, I've got so many clothes in the house purely because I'm like, I'm not going to throw it away because I'm never going to buy any clothes again. So I've got like boxes with holes in and like socks that I don't match and t-shirts that don't fit me. But I'm like, no, if I throw that away, that's a waste of money. But I'll throw away half a dinner that I've cooked because it was for like 4 people and I can't eat it. It's like, where's the balance, Jamie?
It's a double standard, isn't it? It's a complete and utter double standard. I'm very like that. I've got trainers and I've got hats that I've never worn, and they're sitting there in my cupboard with tags on.
And but that's a normal thing, right? Like if you were like, I've got 100 boxes of socks and I've never worn them, then I'd be a bit like, but hats and shoes, people do that.
Yeah, but it's just so annoying because like I see this, like Charlotte was looking at it the other day. It was like an organizer thing because I was just moaning about my overwhelming amount of shoes in this room is just annoying me. And she was like, "There's this organizer thing," and I was like, "How much is it? 200 quid." So I just looked at her and I was just like, "No,
And then
I'll
you
just
went and
deal with
spent
it."
150 on another pair of trainers.
Then I'll go and spend 150 quid on the next pair of trainers that will clutter this room up that I probably won't even wear.
Yeah, I don't know why. I know. I don't know. I can't figure out in my head why one thing is like
A different spend almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
like why it's so easy to do it on that and not on because I can go to Asda or like Tesco's or whatever 5 times in like 2 days. Like just keep going back and forth.
Yeah, I find small shops are dangerous. Like as you know, I'm a big advocate for ordering down here, ordering like stuff from like co-op and local shops down here. Yes, it's a good thing. Like if we're halfway through, say we're cooking a fucking bolognese, and I haven't got Parmesan cheese, I don't have to worry about going and get dressed and sending out and running to the shop and getting some halfway through a meal. I could just order it in. But then what ends up happening, because I need the Parmesan cheese, that's not enough to cover an order. So then I order loads of other crap. That's it. And I end up spending 15 quid where I could have just spent 4 if I went to the shop. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think you understand the extent of. I'm not doing little shops, Jamie. I've done one massive shop, and then I just keep going back.
What you're doing a big shop and then you're just shopping anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Like we'll go to like Lidl on like a Saturday morning after we've been for a coffee, and we'll be like, oh, let's get this, let's get that, let's get this, and then we'll go out somewhere, and then I'll be like, I fancy making this. We'll have to go to Asda then. Then we go home, and then the Sunday I'll be like, oh, really fancy this for dinner, but that wasn't what I bought in Lidl. So then we have to go back to.
Mate, what you need to do, you need to do what me and Charlotte do, which is very fucking boring. But we would like just come up with dinners, and then we're like, "That's you locked in. You're locked in." Then
Oh, no, I'm
the dinners
too.
are locking you in, and then like, but whatever you do, don't do how we started it. We started it by actually putting Monday we're doing this, Tuesday. If you do that, then like you start dreading certain days. So I just say like, look, these are the meals we've got for this week. This is what we're going to eat, and then we just don't. We try not to spend outside of it because we were spending hundreds of pounds on food, and then putting food in the freezer because we have not used it.
Yeah,
Because we're just reusing other, we're you going out and buying more shit
yeah, that's
when
what
you
I do.
don't need it. You
No,
don't need it.
I've got to clean my freezer out. There's stuff in there that is just it's never going to get eaten. It just needs to go in a bin.
And then like on top of it, this time of year, you're trying to buy people presents and shit. And then like I'm like looking at them, thinking that can wait, that can wait. So then everyone's presents end up waiting, but then I'm spending 50 quid on like a couple of bottles of fucking whiskey and a thing for myself. I bought
Yeah,
two, but we bought 2 bottles of whiskey at the weekend. No, a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of tequila from Costco. And it was like 50 quid, and I was like, I could have spent that 50 quid on someone's present, but I've instead me and Charlotte have just spent that on ourselves.
yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, because I've like we're supposed to be going to Edinburgh next week, the 12th,
Mm,
and I'm the same. I'm like, oh, I don't really have a lot of money, and we're only going because my brother wants to go to the Christmas market, which is shit, but he wants to go. But I know what I'm like when I get there. I'm like, oh, let's go here. There's like a hot chocolate place that I like going to now, which is like fucking £10 to fucking go. Like we went the other day. It was like 40 quid for 4 hot chocolates. Fucking mental.
mate, fuck
And
that
then
place.
so I'm like, oh, but I could. And it's like the world is agreeing with me because I was like, right, Spina's done. I've done hers. I did it one day. I was like, boom, 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 ordered. And then after work the other day, I was like, all right, I want to get. I can't say because my brother listens. I was like, I want to get Logan this and Toby this. So I was like, I'm walking on the way home. I'll go get them. I can get them in Perth, and then it'll be done. I don't have to worry about it. Went in to get Logan's damaged. I was like, fuck, I'll order it on the internet. It's fine. I'll just go get Toby's. Went in there, Toby's one. Don't have the right size. So I was like, oh, I'll order that online then. Have I ordered it online? No, that's 2 days ago. It'll get ordered after we've been to Edinburgh probably because then I'll be like, I've got more money
Panic.
to spend in Edinburgh. But I've got no fucking presents. So shit. I'm the shittest brother. Like, I bet they both have done already. Mum will just be like, this is what I've got, Dan. Give me the money for it. They'd be like, all right then, and I'm still
Yeah.
fucking pissing
Well, they're
about.
just getting organised. That's all.
Ugh, I just
They're
hate
getting
it.
organised by someone else.
My youngest brother, which I already knew was going to be, he was like the last hope for our family not being complete and dog shit. And like when he was growing up, he was like, you know, a shitty teen or anything like that. Now he's fucking got himself a job. He paid for his own fucking car because he
Mm.
saved up for it. He goes running every day. He wants to become a chef. It's like overnight. Well, I don't see that much. It's like he's fucking pulled himself together. It's like, where the fuck has this come from?
That's good. That's
I know
good.
it's good,
Encourage
yeah.
it. Tell him once he's got his first restaurant, he can make you the sous chef, and then that's you sorted for the rest of your life, brother. You don't have
I
to worry about
can't.
nothing.
I don't know how he's gonna. I said to you last episode, like watching him cook that pork where he just kept poking it. I'm like, well, I hope you get better than that. I was fucking out. I couldn't handle the stress, man. One day in the kitchen, I'd end up like shitting myself and then having a heart attack. I couldn't. I can.
Yeah, it is stressful work. I think a lot of people go, like, you see it all the time, like Gordon Ramsay's nightmares, where people go into the restaurant business thinking that they know it all because they've done management and stuff, and then when you get into it, it's a fucking whole different fucking kettle of fish.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
I think you've got to be a certain breed of person to be able to deal with that stress.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So we encourage him anyway. We'll see how he does. If he wants to do it, he wants to do it. But
Yeah,
I couldn't
good
do
on
it.
him.
It's the hours
It's
as well.
it's nice as well for a young lad to have ambition to want to do something.
Yeah, because he left college and then he was like, I'll go back. And then he was going to go back to continue doing computers. And he's like, I'm sick of computers. I want to do something different.
Mm.
And the ladies love a cook as well. So get on there. That's if he likes ladies. I don't know. He might like men.
Don't know nowadays.
Don't know.
Are we allowed to even say men or women anymore? 2024? We don't fucking know, do we?
I go through little rants at work because obviously I don't talk to anyone. So I just rant to myself. I saw this news clip of
Are
people.
you speaking out loud or are you just in your head?
Well, sometimes bits slip out, but you can't hear anything because it's so noisy in there. Yeah, before I went back in on my break, I saw this news clip from America going on about how a few different people in hockey refused to wear these new jerseys they had made for like Pride,
Okay.
and because it was like Pride Month or Pride Day or some shit, and they're like, oh, Pride's supposed to be about including everyone and all this and bringing people together, and they're refusing to wear it, and it doesn't really say much about hockey when it's supposed to be hockey's for everyone because that's their slogan, hockey's for everyone.
Right.
And then it turns to one of the players, and he's like, I have no problem with pride or anything like that. He's like, but I have my own beliefs and my own religion, and I just don't want to wear it. And I was like, that's a very fucking simple and clear answer to that whole thing. Like, you're saying about pride and that being about including everyone, but you're isolating everyone. Like, it's the complete opposite. Like, to shame him because he doesn't want to wear a pride. What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, because I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong with what I'm just about to say, but most hockey players are like Eastern European or Canadian or like American, like middle America type guys. Which from them three different gene pools, most of them guys are like super religious in one way or the other.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah, most of them are Christian and stuff
not
like that,
all
isn't
of
they?
them, but obviously some of them. And especially like the Eastern European guys, when they're religious, they're fucking religious. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like hardcore shit. Do you know what I mean? And I think for what one thing that people don't realize about this type of like, yeah, you're a sports person, so you're influencing kids or whatever. But at the same time, he's playing a sport. It's not that deep that whether he wears a fucking pride, it shouldn't matter. Do you know what I mean? If
No,
he doesn't want to wear it, then he doesn't need to. He shouldn't have to explain himself. He just says, "Oh, for religious purposes, I'm not going to wear it," and then that is it, said and done. It
but
doesn't need to be any more than that.
it's not just that though. It's like, why do you have to wear it? I don't understand it. It's like, unless you're voicing disagreement with it, because like me and you, we haven't got we don't I have no problem with pride or anything like that. I don't care if people are gay or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that because I don't mind it, I'm now required to wear pride colours. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like, I'm
I'm
just a
not being
guy that...
funny. Well, everyone who's listened to this podcast and knows this podcast knows 97% of the time I'm wearing black with maybe a little bit of color going through it. I don't. If I all of a sudden sat here in a rainbow jumper, I think I would be breaking character. Do you know what I
But
mean?
that's what I'm getting at, right? It's like why are they required to wear something like that when just because they don't want to wear it doesn't mean that they don't agree with it?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fucking... And he's not gay or anything like that, so what's the point in him wearing it?
In my eyes, as well, the fact that he's got a reason, like a religious aspect, then just leave it at that. It's like going into what's that place in Oink? That place that you like in fucking Edinburgh.
Yes, I love
The
Wink.
the fucking bacon plate, the pork place. It's like taking a Muslim geezer in there, and he says, "Oh no, I'm not going to have nothing." And you'd be like, "Why are you not having nothing?" Because he's a fucking Muslim and he doesn't eat pork. That's why he's not having nothing. Do you know what I mean? And you're not going to stand there and grill him on it, are you? So it's the same difference with like a Christian guy wearing like a pride thing. You're not going to stand and grill him on it just because someone else's view is one way. Doesn't mean that he doesn't dislike him either. Do you know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
what I'm getting at, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't dislike him because he's a Christian, but he just knows for his values at his church or whatever, he doesn't want to have to wear it, and he shouldn't have to answer more than that. And then for people to get upset about it, but I think things are up in the air at the minute in America because they've got the whole abortion thing going on, so they're all
And Trump and I saw
protesting a
Biden
lot.
has like pardoned his son. His last act before he gets fucking fired, he like let his son out of jail or whatever.
Whose son? His own son?
Yeah, his Joe Biden's son got convicted of like gun crimes and tax evasion or something like that. So something to do with tax, something to do with guns. I might be wrong on the people putting the clips together. They're like, no one's above the law, and even he stood up there and he was like, I will support whatever, blah blah blah. Like, and now he's going, nah, they're going after him because I was the president, so I'm going to pardon him. And he was
I don't
basically...
even think that. Well, I suppose they can't really argue it, but I didn't think that you can argue. Yeah, I didn't think you could say, "Oh, my son isn't guilty." Like that is
He's
that
not
not the
saying
most?
that.
Is that not the most biased thing in the fucking world?
Well, there's that, yeah. But no, yeah, like because he was convicted months ago, and then all
Oh
of a
right.
sudden because he's leaving, he's like, I'm pardoning my son
Well, who
because...
gives a fuck? It's another rich white kid out the
Yeah,
fucking.
absolutely. But all his like cabinet people and all that were like, no one's above the law, no one's above the law, and then he just turns around and goes, I'm pardoning him.
It would crack me up if Trump comes into office and he's like,
I take it
"Right,
back.
send in the SWAT team, lads," and then they just go fucking straight after him. Innit?
It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, last thing about the hockey thing, like it's the same like when we say about TV shows and like films and stuff like that. It's like I'm watching hockey because I'm watching hockey. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about their beliefs or anything like that. I'm watching hockey. I'm not watching a church channel or anything like that. It's like I don't give a fuck. I couldn't give a fuck. Like if Hitler went down there to play hockey, I'll still watch the fucking hockey, whether it's Hitler or not. I don't give a fuck. I'm watching the same with like car companies, like Jaguar at the minute that has gone all like woke and I don't know what they're doing. But it's like I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your politics are. Make a nice car, I'll buy the fucking car.
I think what a lot of it comes down to nowadays, and American sports is particularly bad for it because, I obviously love American sports. I've watched American football. I watch like basketball all the time. When you're watching a live basketball game, like even like the highlight reel is advertised, it's got advertisements attached to it and stuff like that. Because it's like a cash cow, it's all spun into that thing. So like British sports like the football and that isn't quite as bad as that yet, but it is going that way. And like it's all about advertisement. Like when you look at like the likes of Jake Paul, he gets where he is because he's advertising everything. Do you know what I mean? And he's advertising to kids and shit like that. And that is why these things are so like that's why things like Pride and that get brought up, or when it was the Black Lives Matter and everyone was taking a knee before a football match. Do you remember when the people were doing that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if and then players were getting penalised for not doing it, or players were getting penalised because they carried on doing it when they was told to stop doing it and stuff like that. And that's all purely down to because the sponsors and all the fucking money that's involved, it takes away from the sport. And like when you're watching like a halftime performance like during a basketball game, it's much better than England. Like it's more inclusive with the crowd. But if you're sitting there watching it on TV, all you're seeing is advertisements of bullshit, like proper loads of bullshit. Like they were advertising Moderna the other day on the Boston Celtics channel, or some kind of fucking COVID vaccine, yeah. And I'm just like, why are we still talking about COVID vaccine? It's 2024. Like they're like, well, this is the Celtics. This is where they go to get vaccinated. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? I'm just trying to watch a basketball game. I don't care about vaccinations. Do you know what I mean? But that's what they do. They just let. I was watching a documentary day before yesterday about social media, and they're just ramming everything they can down your throat to like try and keep you occupied as on your phone. They're trying to enrage people. Because me and you have had plenty of debates before the podcast start about politics and stuff like that. And that's all spurred on by TikToks because neither of us know fuck all really when you think about it. We only know what we're shown on social media, and that is all fed to us. Do you know what I mean? And people are saying in this documentary that the companies are deliberately doing it. Then they've got whole teams looking in how to sway you a certain way, and then they're getting people like celebrities to endorse things like that, celebrities that we would like comedians or whatever. For me, say to endorse certain things because they know that it will interest me, and it's all like a whole political fucking scheme. And then by the end of it, you're voting a certain way and doing that. Like they're actually influencing you without you even knowing it. Do you know what I mean?
I love the people that go up to people in like protests, and they ask them questions, and they're like, "What are you protesting for?" And they're like, "Can't you read the sign?" He's like, "Yeah, but do you want to tell me?" And they're like, "I don't want to talk to you." And they walk off, and I'm just like, "This is fucking brilliant." Did you see that Australia have banned under 16s from using social media?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've got
probably
all
a good
social
idea.
media have got a year to get their kids off of like social media, or otherwise they get fined.
It's going to be hard to control, but if they can do it, it's a good idea.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I think it's a good idea. Like when I was in like school, I hated school, but I was much fucking happier not having, because I didn't have like a mobile phone I think until my last year of high school.
Oh, really? So you were a bit further along than me. We had Bebo and early days of Facebook in high school.
Yeah, see, Facebook wasn't out until I was in college, because I remember Jim signing me up to it because I was like, I don't want that. And we were drunk, and he made me a profile, and that was my downfall. After that,
Beginning of the end.
yeah, because I remember in high school, because obviously I had no job, and I had a mobile phone that my mum gave me, but it's got no credit on it. So
it was like an object.
So yeah, but I could receive text on it. So what you would do is you would go on the computer and you would do this website. I can't remember what it's called, something to do with a fish, and you would send a text message from the website, and then at the end of it, it would say it was sent from like this website. But that's how you would I feel really old now. So you just back and forth from this website that would send text messages, and that's how we dealt with not having credit. I don't even know if kids know what credit is, because you can still get pay-as-you-go phones, but I don't think any kid nowadays has a pay-as-you-go phone.
Well, I was discussing with a lad the other day who I work with, who's only 22. I said, did you know that Beyonce was in a group? And he was like, no. I was like, well, that sums you up, bruv.
I'd say, we went to see Moana 2, and Sabina was like, oh, we'll take her mate's kids, because her mate was like working in that. And we were like, we'll take the kids to the cinema while you're at work. And we saw Moana, and they were saying how much they liked it. And I was like, oh, what's your favourite Disney movie? And the girl was like, The Descendants. It was like a Disney musical thing.
Right.
And then he was like, Star Wars. And I was like, Star Wars isn't Disney. It's all on Disney. And I'm like, yeah, but the first 6 were Lucasfilms. They weren't Disney. And I was like, but what about the classics like Robin Hood or Mary Poppins? And they're like, what's that? Because they're like 9 and
Yeah,
9
they would
and
never have seen that stuff.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? I'm like, have you not? Oh well, they're too long. I'm like, what do you mean too long? I was like, Dumbo was 40 minutes. Is that too long? I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And it just made me feel really fucking old.
I think for kids as well, when it's not got the clean, crisp, like, because they're used to watching like Peppa fucking Pig and all that stuff. That's all like 2020 and plus. Like, it's all clean, crisp, like thing. Like, I remember watching, like, I had like Sarah and Justin's boys over ours for like an afternoon. I can't remember what they're doing. But I put on Family Guy, and it was like an old Family Guy. Do you remember when it was like
Yeah.
pretty sketchy?
Yeah.
And they were like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "Family Guy." They was like, "This doesn't look like Family Guy. This looks like a cheap man's Family Guy." And I was like, "No, this is just how it looked when it originally come out." Do you know what I mean? Just because I happened to put it on episode one of season 1 rather than fucking episode 26 of season 26. Like, but that's like, if it's not clean cut, they don't like it,
It's
and
the
it's
same
because they're
as
too used to perfection. That's why.
Simpsons. The original Simpsons was fucking awful.
Yeah, even
Like
I had that
even
reaction to the
yeah.
original Simpsons. Yeah,
The same with like the original South Park. I remember watching it from the beginning, but I'm like, I couldn't watch that again. That's fucking terrible.
no, yeah. I think there's things like that don't age very well, but when you look at stuff like old cartoons, I think for us it's nostalgia. It's going to be like 80s music to what our parents. Do you know what I mean? It's
Mm.
nostalgia to us, but to like the young kids and that, they don't give a fuck. They really don't
Even
give a fuck.
though, even like Princess and the Frog, that's not that old. You know what I mean? That's like
What's
what?
Princess and the Frog? I can't remember that.
Oh, it's pretty much in the. She's in.
Is that where she kisses a frog and it becomes a prince?
Yeah, basically.
Right.
But it's all like. Isn't she in like Louisiana or something? I know
Don't
it's really
know.
good. I thought it was really good. But that's only like 10 years old, probably a bit more than that, and they still didn't. I put the music on in the car, and they're just looking at me.
Yeah, but that's a lot of the thing as well. Is like all the merchandise and all that stuff is all around the recent stuff. The stuff that like Snow White come out in the 30s. Do you know what I mean? So they're not going to give a fuck about Snow White.
Yeah,
Do
I
you know what
know,
I
but
mean?
when you're like your parent, like my kid are gonna know what fucking. They're not allowed to watch the new stuff till they've seen the old stuff.
Yeah, but I can imagine a lot of parents just turn the app on and then they just go to whatever's. Do you know what the what's
Yeah,
new bit?
yeah.
They're not even looking at like the originals.
I still like in the last episode with Brian, when I was like, I don't even think most people know that Mickey Mouse was actually a character. Like he's just a face now that's on everything because they don't
Yeah,
use him.
I don't remember a day other than Fantasia. I don't remember any when you guys were discussing that. I have no recollection at all of Mickey Mouse. I remember he has a squeaky voice, but I have no recollection of him actually being in anything.
Oh yeah, he had loads of stuff. The Three Caballeros was fucking brilliant. The song of that was so good, which
Mm,
is about 3 birds. There's like one's a Mexican, one's English, I think, and one's something else. But yeah, all the old stuff was well good. Like, because obviously in the cinema and that, you used to get a Disney cartoon,
yeah.
but they don't do anything with it now. Um, we wanted to put something towards the, if you're still listening, because we've just been rambling. It's like me and Jamie haven't spoken. Like, where it's like, you do remember we're on the podcast, right, Jamie? It's like, um, yeah, because I've literally just walked through the door, so it's like there's no time for me and Jamie to talk. I was on social media because Jamie's been doing his follow everyone on Instagram, and there's this group. This podcast came up, and I was like, oh, I'll have a look because I'm always looking for like English podcasts. And they had this thing with like Brewdog, and I was like, oh, they've only got something like 30 followers. How have they got anything to do with Brewdog? And then I clicked on it, and apparently Brewdog in London have a podcast studio that you can rent, which is just fucking baffling to me. It's in Waterloo. So I said to Jamie, and I just wanted to put it towards like the listeners or anything like that, because it's going to be like 3. Is it 3 years next year?
March. Is it March or May?
I think it's May, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it's
Yeah,
not March. I think it's later than that now.
I think it's May. It must be May. But
I
yeah,
thought
it'll
it
be
was
3 years then.
April. So I don't
Okay.
know, we're all over the fucking place.
We'll have to do the maths.
But I was like, that'd be a really good thing. Like if we booked it for a couple of hours, went down to London, recorded the 3-year episode in London, and then anyone that wants to come and meet us, we're obviously there. Like they know.
Yeah, in
I think you
Central.
can see the people in the studio, like when they're doing it.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure because I only looked at their website like briefly. But I know we have a few people that are in London that listen to us. So, let us know if is that something that would be interesting to for like I know we haven't done Christmas yet, but it's too late. Like I only saw it the other day. I can't do it now.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
the logistics is
yeah, I
just
know.
not there.
I'm sure loads of people have been like, "Oh, let's do a Christmas episode in fucking Brewdog," but yeah. So that's an idea of what we can do if you want us to come down and see us and may even watch us record an episode. God knows what it'd be like. But that's something you can vote for. Just let us know. Put it in the end of like an email. Yes, we would love to see it.
I think it would even be good, like if the production is like it just would be good for like just our shorts and stuff like that for us to have a good episode for a year and because as you said, you saw Brewdog in the background and it intrigued you straight away. Don't know, it'll be good. So yeah, let's see what the listeners think.
They made out that it was like sponsored by Brewdog, but I'm like, there's no fucking way that you were
That'll
sponsored by
probably be part of the deal that you have to fucking say stuff about Brewdog when you're in there.
something like. Because I was making jokes because um, Sabina works for an insurance company, and the Brewdog, the owners of Brewdog, insure with her company.
Mm.
And when she went to Las Vegas, she had drinks with the owner, and they're both Scottish. So I was making jokes, and I was like, "Who the fuck are these?" I was like, "You are closer to Brewdog. I should have had this fucking." And I was like making out that like we're royalty or something. Like fuck these people. We should have a Brewdog sponsor. But yeah, I think it'd just be really good because I haven't seen. I don't think we've seen each other this year. Did we?
No, last time we saw each other was last December.
Yeah. So
So it's been a year. It's because
yeah,
obviously everything that's been going on, it's been too difficult to meet up.
yeah, it's been a rough year for us, to be honest.
Plus, this year coming, I'm back onto normal fucking shift work. So
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say. So before Jamie was on like, or you've heard him mention it before, like all these different shifts and that. He's now doing a week of earlies and week of lates. So every 2 weeks we have to record 2 episodes at least minimum. So possibly you might have to wait an extra week to hear from your emails, but it also means that we need your emails to come in because we need to do
in
two
short,
episodes in
yeah,
1 week. Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't think it'd be a problem because obviously you got that whole week to get emails, and we've never had a problem getting emails. Well,
We've had
I
some
always,
squeaky bum times where we have a little bit of a panic, and then all
yeah,
of a
but
sudden we
I
get a
was going to
massive
say
flurry.
I always find that we get more emails when I panic. When I'm not bothered, we don't get anything because I could be like, I think it would happen. Like I was like, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, and then like an hour before we were recording, we had like 2 emails, and I'm like, I need another 3 emails to at least make a full fucking episode. And as I started panicking, 3 episodes came in like 10 minutes intervals. I'm like, you fucking bastards. It's like you fucking just know or that Google are waiting.
I was thinking the other day because like it's happened before to us where we get a shitload on a Monday. I'm like, is something happening at the weekend where we don't receive stuff on like a Sunday or something, and like we just receive it all on a fucking Monday, or is that just how? I know obviously when you look at our listing trends, Fridays and Mondays are our little peak days during the week because obviously that must be people's. We release on a Friday, obviously, and then people are probably listening to the episode on a Monday, and there are two peak things. So we're obviously in people's minds on the Monday or the Friday. But I always think to myself, it always seems to be a Monday. Every time we have like a last second panic like flurry come through, it's always a fucking Monday. This Monday come around, nothing.
Oh no, we've had 3 emails today.
Shit. Okay. Well,
No, wait, it's Tuesday. Sorry, yeah. Monday was fucking shit. Yeah, sorry, we had 3 emails today.
Oh, right. So we have got some stuff then. I was sitting here thinking, oh, shit. We're going to have to change the structure for this week's second episode. But
it's because, like, the last 2 emails we had, one as I came through the door. So I've read it, but I haven't sent it to you. And then we've just got one now.
Just one?
We got a new one now, yeah.
Oh, right. So as I'm having a little moan.
Yeah. There's another one, yeah. So,
okay. I take that back.
But yeah, Mondays suck. Like, yeah, we didn't have anything yesterday. Today's Tuesday. Tuesday's better. But yeah, so please bear with us. There's like it's like a fucking, what do you call it? I don't know the word. It's going to take a couple of weeks.
Any structure change for me and Dan, yeah. It takes like a good month for us to fucking process it, and then and then we get into the swing of things, and then things change again.
Yeah, because he's now changed shifts. We've now got to try and make sure we've got enough episodes for 2 weeks at a time.
And then Christmas comes.
So we now we got to make sure when to record that. And Jamie's gone on holiday after Christmas. So it's like, yeah, this month's going to be a bit fucking. There will definitely be either 1 or 2 game show episodes because we're having to record extra early and there's no fucking emails. So if you hear a game show, you know that we're struggling for content. But it's all right. We enjoy it. I've got a game that I was thinking about today. So you just got to keep on.
Did you hear from Jim?
No, he had some family stuff, so I haven't asked him because he's been a bit, yeah. So I don't know if it's just going to be being you, but we'll sort something out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the hosts and should only be taken as food for thought. We are in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you, so see you later. Please enjoy the rest of the show. Remember, our merch is live. Christmas coming up. Go onto our beacons. You find hats, t-shirts, whatever you like. And there's also 20% off Essence Vault because I'm sure everyone loves a cheeky bit of aftershave at Christmas. We've been hounded by fucking emails from them as well.
Essence Vault, I've just recently bought something off of there. The cheeky little bastards, yeah, took my 20% off because I did a buy one, get one free.
Yeah, that's standard, Jamie. You can't use 2 fucking...
I can do what I want, Dan. I'm an affiliate, Dan. I'm an affiliate.
Mum's like that. We went into Costa for like the breakfast thing where you get like a bacon roll and a coffee for £5 or something.
Mm.
And she also had a voucher on her phone for 50% off a cake. So she's like all happy and chuffed with herself. And she's like, oh, I can have that cake. Scans the voucher, £10 something. And she goes, hang on a minute. How's that £10 something? And they're like, oh, because you're
trying to double coupon us.
Yeah. And she's like, but there's the offer. And I'm like, Mum, you can't. Everyone knows you can't double fucking voucher. Like, we're not in America. You can't stack them on top of each other. She goes, oh, well, didn't know that. Yeah, you fucking did.
I always love them geezers. Like, the store actually owes me £87. I'm just like, all right, mate, fuck it now. He's just bought £400 worth of stuff. But it's all crap because no one wants it.
Well, there's that as well, yeah. 139. I recently had a bit of work done on my teeth, and I went for a cheaper option of a gold-plated tooth by the front instead of the full veneer. My other half and my mum and my siblings all hate it. They say it's chavvy and cheap. And I've got to say, after having it for a while, I'm starting to despise it as well. I've decided I need to save and get a veneer, but I'm not a patient person. Is it super vain thing to do to take a small bank loan to pay for the tooth replacement? I was thinking about this the other day. Do dentists not do payment plans?
Everyone I know hasn't got fucking like £6,000 to drop on a veneer, so they must do. They've got to, because there's no one I know that going around with like holes in their mouths.
I don't know, because I've said on the podcast before, like, I've been trying to get a fucking dentist since COVID, and it's got to the point now where like my teeth are about ready to fucking walk in my mouth. Not because they're like rotten or anything like that. It's because I've had problem with my gums since I was like 19.
Mm.
And it's just, I've got like no fucking gums left. Like, I keep having this nightmare. I'm going to wake up and I've just got no teeth in my mouth because they've just fallen out.
Like your gums are receding almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went in the dentist the other day, and I was yesterday, and I was like, "Do you have any NHS openings? Because I need to go to the fucking dentist." And she goes, "Oh no, we're fully booked." And this is in Perth, right? It's not even in where I'm living. And I'm like, "Well, do you know anyone that does?" I was like, "Because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I've been on a waiting list in my local dentist since COVID." I was like, "I've got half a tooth. It's been broken. I've having to like clean it out myself every fucking day because I haven't got a fucking dentist." And she gave me a number to ring, and I got home. It was like 4:45. I rang the number, and an answering machine come on and was like, "Oh, we open at 8:30 and we close at 5. Please try again tomorrow." And I'm like, "Well, it's 4:45. Like, where the fuck are you, you fucking?" I swear to God, this fucking country is just doing my nutting with things like this. How hard is it to have a fucking dentist? And it's not even like it's free. NHS just means you get like 20% off.
Does it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how
you
it
just have to
works.
pay for it. Like, I think it's something like up here, I think it's £17 something for a clean, like, like a visit.
Yeah.
I think if you go private, it's like £28, something like that.
I think that's what they're trying to force people the private way in it, because I think most people I know must have private then, because they they get charged tons of money every time someone I know speaks about going to the dentist. It's like hundreds or thousands of pounds trying to fucking sort their teeth out. I think the best way to go forward for you, Dan, before even going on the listener, is to do like a search of just the whole of fucking,
But this is the
even
thing, like
include Edinburgh, even
they just
include
give you the
Edinburgh, I
numbers
suppose.
for these places. They don't even tell you if they're available. They're
Yeah,
just like, here's the number for every fucking. I'm gonna have to sit there and just go through the.
ring everyone.
But I said to him, because my granddad used to say the best thing he ever did was have all his teeth removed and get dentures.
Mm.
And I was like, at this point in time, it would be easier for me to get a brick and smash my own mouth in, because then at least I could phone the emergency line and they could sort my mouth out. Because that's like, the Americans listening would be like, it can't be that bad. Like, you can't get a dentist appointment and the emergency place won't see you unless you're in pain. So my gums are receding. It doesn't hurt. They won't see me. But my teeth could just fall out of my fucking head at any moment. But it won't. It doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? So no one gives a fuck.
I would just pretend it hurts, Dan.
It's just fucking mental. And then when you
I
go to
would
see them,
just
they're like,
barefaced lie, and then when you go in, and they go, oh, when they go near you a little bit, and
yeah,
then once you're all sorted, you're clean and pristine. Do you know what I mean?
it's
Fuck
just
'em.
fucking mental. And then mum's going like, oh, because I said to her, I was like, I just wanted to take all my teeth out. And she's like, they won't take out good teeth. And I was like, good teeth? I was like, even laugh. I haven't seen a dentist in like fucking 8 years. Oh, good teeth. It's mental. I would kill for a fucking metal tooth. When I was younger, I used to I was like, that's well cool. It's like the sticky bandits from. Is it sticky or wet bandits from
Wet
Home Alone?
bandits,
Wet
yeah.
bandits.
I think during our teenage year, I'm pretty glad I didn't do it. But during our teenage years, it was pretty cool and in to get like one of your front teeth redone. Like Wiley, one of the rappers from the UK, he has like a tooth up the front done with a diamond in it and stuff like that. So it was like a cool thing to do. But
No
yeah,
diamonds,
it
yeah.
hasn't aged well since we've left the 90s and early noughties. The silver or gold teeth in the front has not aged well. And like, yeah, I get getting the cheap option like from our listener, but just switch it out when you can afford it. If it's affecting your life to the point where you're getting upset over it and you can afford to pay this loan, then I would do it. But if it's
Mm.
not upsetting you and it's just getting on your nerves, save up and don't get the loan, and just save up for it. But I don't think if it's like a gold tooth, like a molar or something, it wouldn't affect you. You don't really need to care about it. But if it's one of your front teeth and it's affecting your smile, because I think teeth, especially like for someone that's got image issues anyway, like I've got image issues, a lot of people got image issues.
Yeah.
Teeth is a big thing. Like, so if you've got like a smile that you don't like, that will automatically bring your fucking confidence right down. So if the gold tooth is a knock in your confidence, then fucking change it out. Do you know what I mean? Because I keep talking about getting, because my teeth are all right, And I got a small chip from fighting years ago, but other than that, they're all right. And I just keep talking about getting them whitened, but then I switched toothbrushes to another toothbrush. That I know this is the most boring conversation ever, but ever since then, like the plaque and that is going, so I'm not getting my teeth look a lot whiter, and now I'm happier. But before, I wouldn't openly smile with teeth. I'm not a big smiler anyway. I'm a miserable bastard. So I don't smile with teeth most of the time. But if I did, it was always like a half grin, and I think it is a massive like knock to confidence. I know when I one of my good friends years ago when we got into a fight, he got his front tooth like snapped in half, and then like it come out.
Mm.
And then being kids and not being able to afford anything, his mum couldn't afford nothing either. He couldn't get his tooth replaced for a good couple of months, yeah. And he just went into himself. Didn't really chat to anyone. Was just like his confidence was completely gone. And then as soon as his tooth was sorted out, he was back to normal.
Yeah, I
And I
hate my
think it does
fucking.
have that effect on you.
I hate my smile. I have like pictures retaken because I think to myself like I'll smile and then I'll look at it and I'm like, nah, we've got to take it again.
Mm.
Like fucking, it's not happening. But like, I'm not like,
And if someone's got noticeably bad teeth, it puts you off them straight away, doesn't it? Let's face it. If you
yeah,
look at someone and they've got fucking teeth that they look like they've been chewing batteries, you're just like, fuck me, man. Like, have you no? It's a hygiene thing, isn't it? For me, or you know what my thing is about smelling and stuff. I would look at someone even if they've got like some people just have bad genes and their teeth are naturally bad.
yeah. Like I've got no enamel. I've never had any enamel on my teeth.
Yeah, yeah. But I've never looked at you and thought, fuck him, fuck me, his teeth look terrible. Do you know what I mean? But
But
there
they
will be
are.
people that like they've got like one tooth hanging down here, another tooth hanging out here, and you're just like, bruv, fucking sort it out.
I'll I ain't giving
Turkey's
up.
always he's always a good option. They're getting better and better and doing teeth as well.
I'd much rather just get them all fucking out and have fucking dentures, mate. Take them out, clean them. They'll be sparkling. Put
If
them
I
back
had the
in again.
money, I always joke about doing a group saver to Turkey. But if I have the money, and I would just go and get some turkey teeth and be done with it. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah,
Come
I
back
would too.
and wouldn't worry about it. But not everyone's got $2,000 to spend on their teeth.
No, no.
But
Yeah,
I'm
no, that'd
sure
be
they do
fucking.
payment plans as well. I think it's something you need to look into.
What, me?
Not you, like the listener.
I don't have a problem with the gold tooth. I think it's like I would play into it. I'd like put on a proper like London accent.
I just know what it's like when your mum and your fucking girlfriend don't like it. You're just sitting there and they're judging. Like my mum, every time she looks at the chip on my tooth, goes, "One day that tooth's gonna go black, Jamie. Has it gone black? No, I got that when I was fighting when I was 15. Do you know what I mean? It's still exactly the same.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just hate teeth. I think they're the worst. And like dentists are such a fucking barbaric thing as well. Like nothing's changed in dentistry since it fucking started. You know what I mean? And it's just such an awful fucking procedure, and everything fucking hurts. And
You hear the horror stories of people going and getting them sorted out, and you agree because you're in pain, or you agree because you don't like what you've got in your mouth. You agree to all this shit, and then you end up owing like $6,000 to just get a tooth or a couple of teeth sorted out. When really, yes, it will make you happier in the long run, but there's other options. Do you know what I mean? I
mm,
don't think what you get quoted from one dentist should be what you get closed down for. Like Charlotte shopped around a lot. Charlotte is one of those people that were unfortunate when she was younger, and she had braces for years. And then when she was like 16, 17, she just had her braces removed, fell over in the back of her house, and chipped and broke her two front teeth straight off.
canal.
They snapped in half. So Charlotte has veneers at the front because obviously she had no fucking tooth left. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? And she's had times where they've cracked over the years and stuff like that, so she had to get them replaced. But she had to shop around because the first place that she went to, they cracked after a few years. She paid loads of money for them, and then now she's with another place where they're basically insured.
Oh yeah.
and now she's had these ones for like 3-4 years, and there's nothing wrong with them. Do you know what I mean? But because they're insured, if something was to go wrong, she hasn't got to worry about having a cracked tooth for fucking 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and paying thousands of pounds out. The insurance will cover it.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's
Makes
the
me laugh
shopping around.
because even like because I was thought about I'll just go fucking private. So I went on Booper to look at like dental insurance. And it's so shit in this country. You can't even get dental insurance anymore. They're like, oh, sorry, the insurance isn't available at the minute. It's like, how can you not have insurance available for fucking
That's
like?
weird.
It's like fucking ridiculous, isn't it?
It is weird.
We're in a bit off, but I think I agree with Jamie. Like, if it's bothering you that much and it like it's really bothering you, then and you can afford the loan, then get the loan. But like, if it's just a bit of teasing or whatever, I would just save up and because it's not worth putting yourself in all that debt for a
I
fucking
would have
tooth.
100%. If the geezer, if the doctor, not the doctor, the I know they claim they're doctors, but they're not. Yeah. If the dentist said to me, 185 quid for a gold tooth or 2 grand for a fucking one to match the rest of them, I would go for the 181
Yeah.
first of
Oh
all.
yeah.
First of all,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think most people would,
Yeah.
but I would always in my head think that will piss me off in a few years' time. So I will always. It's always going to be a temporary thing until I can raise the funds. So I think you got to kind of. Not many people can pull off a fucking gold tooth nowadays. Do you know what I mean? So
Mate, I would shave my head. I'd wear fucking braces and a shirt, some fucking boots. I'd be proper playing it in, or I'd just look like Del Boy.
start using that spitting tobacco. Do
Make my teeth even fucking
you
worse. But I'm sure you'll be okay. Like after a while, people just get bored of the teasing stuff, right? Like it's just because it's new.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately it's up to you. I still like the gold tooth. I don't know why. Maybe I just like Home Alone. Who knows? That was my first instant when he said gold tooth. Was Home Alone. I fucking
I
love
don't
it.
even remember it in Home Alone.
Yeah, because he gets hit in the face with the paint thing, and it knocks his gold tooth out. And then
Oh,
at the end, when they're yelling at each other, the dad finds the gold tooth on the floor, and he's like, oh, "Where's this come from?" And it shines.
really?
Yeah. I'm sad like that. And then all of like English comedies back then as well, all made jokes about knocking out your mate's teeth to like sell his gold teeth.
I do remember them type of things back in the day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you'll be all right. Let us know how it goes. And let us know when you get your nice new smile. I caught my friend's mum cheating on his dad, and I don't know what to do.
Christ.
Quite a wordy email, so I'm going to try and I've got to get ready like I'm in a boxing match or something.
I don't
I
remember
was
this
out
one.
of the what? Oh yeah,
Carry
this
on,
was a while
sorry.
ago. I was out of the weekend with the boys from work from our works drinks, and we went to a few bars through Camden. We jumped pub to pub until we found a decent bar we stayed in. As the night went on, one of my best friend's mum walks past me at the bar, and I said hello, and I noticed she was quite drunk and being strange with me. We exchanged a few words, and I just assumed she was out with her friends and thought nothing more. But then I noticed she was acting very flirtatiously with a dude from the bar, and they were actually there together. I thought, oh, that's weird. I didn't know she and her husband had split. We were staying in the local travel lodge, and I saw her walking later that night while we were at the bar, and they were all over each other. So fast forward to this morning, I went to work and I said to my mate, "Oh, I ran into your mum at the weekend in Camden," and he said, "Oh yeah, she went out with her mate Maria, and that he took his dad to the football as he didn't want him to be alone at the weekend." So I've obviously caught her at it. What do I do? I feel like a traitor for not saying anything, but is it really my place to? I
First
used
of all,
I used her
Camden
mate's
is a
name.
shithole.
Yeah, Camden is a shit. I thought when it set on fire, it was done. It was gone.
Every time I've been talked into it probably a handful of times going to Camden, and they always go, "Oh yeah, it's really alternative down here and all this." I was like, "No, it just smells of piss." And there's like punks sitting on a fucking sitting on a fucking like thing saying they're drinking Kestrel and fucking super tenants, acting like it's still 1985. It's a shithole. It is a living shithole, and every time I'm there, I feel at risk. I just don't get it. I don't get the draw to kind of. But
Yeah,
that's just me being a fucking snob.
No, it is. It's a fucking, like I said, when it caught on fire, I
Should have
was like,
stayed
well,
on
at least
fire.
it'd be fucking clean.
Yeah.
The fire's gonna clean everything up. No, they just rebuilt it, and it's still the same old fucking smelly ass. If you want to buy a like a long black coat for like 10 quid, you go Camden, and it'd be like hand you by like Mick Jagger's retarded sweaty cousin or something.
If you want to hang out and get like the clap off some geezer that hasn't had a shower since 1993, that's where you go. Do you know what I mean?
Some guy rolling a cigarette and his hands are like yellow from
Yeah,
all the tobacco.
but he's alternative.
Just because he's got the same like Sex Pistols t-shirt he's been wearing since the Sex Pistols.
Just because
out.
he's wearing skin tight tartan trousers that he's bought in like fucking 1992 and hasn't taken them off.
Oh, I just made some enemies from that little
Yeah,
segment
they'll come our way now. They'll come.
They come your way. I'm never going to fucking London.
Spain all over again.
This is a tough one because, like, yeah, right. Is it your place to really? But then,
for me, it would be how close are you to this friend? If they're a mate where like you're not really best mates, then allow the distance to do the talking for you. Like you don't have to worry about it too much. But if it's like a really close friend and like you've got a relationship and you've known each other for years, and you must be close enough that you know what his mum looks like, I would just say, look, this is what's happened. You need to speak to your mum. Just say you need to speak to your mum, and just don't get too much involved.
I don't think she would own up.
I don't think she would, but I think she almost is waiting. She must be waiting for it by now, because the geezer's fucking caught her red-handed.
Yeah, but if she's off her nut, she's not fucking.
Yeah, and she wasn't trying to hide it in the end, so she was just like accepting the fact that he's probably not going to say nothing.
Just be like, Maria, that's a funny name for a bloke. He had a fucking beard.
Yeah. And a 10-inch long.
Went to the toilet and he was standing right next to me.
He was standing in the cubicle next to me going, you're going to learn today about this long dick. Slightly off topic, I forgot to bring this up at the beginning, yeah. I was in the toilet. I went out with a family at the weekend to St. Albans for like a little like few pubs.
Right.
And we were in the first place, the beach house, and I was like, I went up to the toilet. I walks into the toilet. This is just, it reminds me because I mentioned about the toilet just a minute ago. And there's a guy standing at the urinal, but there's a guy behind him almost holding them onto the urinal. Like, he's like up behind him to the point where I walked in and with the first glance, I thought they were having sex. Like, they were having sex at the urinal. Do you know what I mean? They looked at me, I looked at them. It was only us in the toilet, and I goes, "You right?" And they goes, "You right?" And then I just like weirdly went for a wee and just stood there thinking they're fucking banging. I've caught them banging because I looked like I caught them in the middle of something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm standing there having a fucking meltdown in the fucking toilet. And then as the guy obviously finishes pissing, he turns around and he says to me, because he's only like me one urinal away, and he goes, just so you know, he was holding me up because I have cerebral palsy. And then he just started walking towards the sink. And I was like, thank God for that. In my head, I was like, fucking hell. And I was like, oh, really? Like, and then like they were bantering each other, and he was like, hurry up, and he was holding the door open for him and stuff. And the matey boy was like limping along. And I was just like, fucking hell, man. The scene that I thought was going on was totally different to the real scene.
Fucking
and I was like going down
man.
Kieran saw me coming down the stairs behind him. He was like, fucking hell, what's going on up there? And I was like, because I was gone ages. because obviously I got stuck behind them on the stairs. And Kieran was like, "What happened up there?" And I was like, "Mate, I thought them two were banging." But what actually happened was he was helping his mate go to the toilet in the pub. And I felt like the biggest piece of shit in the world.
How are you supposed to know, man? It's like he had a fucking sign around his neck or something.
Because they were dressed like rude boys as well. Like their trousers were low, so I just thought their trousers were down because they're banging. I was just like fucking horrified, and Kieran couldn't stop fucking laughing, innit? He could not stop laughing. He was like falling off his chair laughing. I was like, mate,
What a
fucking
ridiculous situation, man.
ridiculous thing to be in.
Yeah, I don't know, like, whether you're close or not, I think it's still a hard situation because obviously if you're close to him, then you should really say something because it's not fair, right? But then if you're not close to him, you've still got that like I should tell him because it doesn't matter to me, but I should still say it.
Yeah, and it's a little bit difficult as well because you got to think to yourself as well. Like, if I don't say anything and then it comes out anyway, and then it turns out that somehow that story gets brought up and you've seen it and you haven't said anything, then that could fuck your friendship up.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? I think it's a hard situation to be in because morally you just want to be like, right, look, I caught your mum in the way that she shouldn't have been.
yeah.
You need to speak to your mum basically, and just leave it at that, and then put the ball in his court. But at the same time, you know that's going to fuck a family up. So you don't know what to do you? So it's a hard one. It is a hard one.
For me, it's more the fact like I don't want to be dragged into it. Like if you could just go up to someone and be like, "I saw your mum all over Mary last night. Well done. Have that information. See you later." But it's not as easy as that because then he's going to go and be like, "Oh, well, my friend, blah blah blah, saw you," and they'll be like, "How dare they?" And then now he's going back and he obviously wants to believe his mum. So it's like, "Why are you lying about my mum?" It's like
Yeah,
I'm not
very
lying.
true. Yeah.
Like, why would I even bother?
What you could do is be an absolute pussy about it and do something that I would do. Is like write some sort of note and just fucking
Throw
don't
it at his
even
head.
some anonymous note in it and just fucking like post it through his door. Just be like, ask your mum what happened on this night in this travel lodge. Bye bye. And then like plant the seed of doubt.
It just says on the bit of paper, "Do you want to know a secret?" Where
Do you
there's
want to
two
play? Yeah.
squares that say yes or no.
Do you, do you want to play a game and like attach a fucking tape recorder to it and just fucking play out some sort of jigsaw fantasy? But I don't know. It would be that's an easy option, or be like some sort of web sleuth and send him a message on social media from a burner account. But I don't know. It's
You want that? Have you seen that guy? I've seen him on TikTok. He can't remember what his channel's called, but he basically gives bad news. So you can
yeah.
you email him and then he'll ring that number. Some of them are fucking brilliant.
I tried to message him on TikTok to see if I could get him on,
Yeah.
but he didn't reply to me on one of his live messages and live shows. I was like, "Hey man, we're in a podcast. If you want to come on," and he was like, "Yeah, maybe," and then just left it. I was like,
I thought that'd be fucking brilliant. You could do something like that though. You could send a message, be like, "Oh, can you ring this number and tell them that their mum's out banging Mary?"
"Yeah, yeah." That is the type of stuff he says.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's told people that they've got cancer and stuff like that as well. Like he's like, oh, they're too embarrassed, they're too upset to tell you, but they've been diagnosed with cancer and shit like that. It's fucking mental the stuff he does.
Yeah, yeah.
What would I do? To be fair, I wouldn't want to get involved. I just pretend I didn't fucking. I'd be like, you dirty bitch, and then just leave it at that. Actually, I'd probably tell you. I'd be like, dude, I was out last night, and you remember Jerry? His mum's a filthy bitch. She was all over this fucking guy, and he was at the football with his dad. And then that was about as far as it would get.
The thing is, me knowing information is one of the worst things in the world because I'm like a balloon that's going to pop. And if I know something, I find it very hard to keep in. So I would be like, I would either tell someone who'd end up telling him because we've got a few people in our friendship group that's a fucking loudmouth, and
Yeah.
it will eventually come out, or I'll end up saying it straight away, or getting like there's no wrong end of the stick. He saw the guy kissing her, so it's not, he hasn't got the wrong end of the stick. But I'd be in some sort of situation. So yeah, I don't know. Fuck knows, man.
I think
It's so dark. It's so hard.
If you want to take out like all the my friend this and all that sort of stuff, right? Mental health wise, any secret is damaging to your own mental health, right?
Yeah.
It causes all sort of problems when you see him, like it causes guilt and all that sort of things. So if you want to, because at the end of the day, the right thing to do is to tell him.
Yeah, and then when the information's with him, then it's up to him then what he does with it.
Yeah. So like, it's a shit situation to be in. It's a shit. The whole fucking thing is crap. But at the end of the day, you've caught her out, and
you don't know. You don't really know what their family situation is like, because like a family friend of ours, I never knew up until like a year ago. So they've been a family friend since I was a kid. They've been living together and they have kids that are like well known to our family and stuff.
Mm.
But they've not been together this entire time, and they've been like living together in the house, sleeping in separate bedrooms and stuff. But they're not in a relationship. But they act and turn up to things like they're in a relationship together. So for all being purposes, like they've been like in a strong marriage for all this time, but they haven't been. They've not been doing any of that. But no one knew any different. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that could be the case here. They could be doing their own things, and the kids don't know yet, or whatever.
What I would suggest, and we always say, you know, we're not telling you to do anything or anything like that. Take him to the side and I would say to him, look.
So have you heard about that long dick?
Have you got a new uncle that's come into your life? I'll be like, I'm going to tell you something, and it's the only time I'm going to tell you this. And after I've spoken about it, I'm never bringing it up again. Like on his own, like not in front of anyone else. I'll be like, on this night I went out, I saw your mum. She was with another guy. I don't know what happened. But you know, they were really over each other. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I just want to make you aware, and I'm never bringing it up again. And then just leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, because then you've cleared the slate, right? Like you've got no secrets or anything like that. He's got the information. You haven't said to him she's cheating, because really you don't know, right? Yeah, they went to the hotel and they were all over each other, but that's as much as you know. That's
it's written in the stars, but you don't know for sure.
That's what you saw with your own eyes. So you're not lying to him or giving him any more than what you know. And then just leave it at that and just be like, I'm not pressuring you. I'm not going to, like, I'm just telling you what I saw. And I just want to leave it at that. And then whatever he does with that information is up to him. But you've told him, and you haven't done it in front of anyone else. You haven't embarrassed him. You haven't caused a scene. You've just, you know, given him the information, and then that's it.
Yeah, and don't be doing it when both of you have got a beer. Like, do it in a normal situation.
Yeah, you don't want to make like a massive like, oh, do you want to go for a drink, and then sit and have a massive like. I would just take him to the side and be like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about it anymore.
Mm.
This is your fucking problem now. I've cleared my mind. That's what I would do.
And I think the weight would come off your shoulders instantly as soon as you say it out loud.
Exactly. So, but like I said, everything you like we talk about and stuff like that is always up to you. We only talk about how we would do it, or you know, we just give you options to think about. At the end of the day, if you don't want to tell him, you don't want to tell him. That you're not a bad guy for not telling him. It's not your family problems or domestics or anything like that.
Mm.
So you shouldn't really hold any guilt. But it's easier said than done, right? Like everyone holds guilt for loads of different things.
Of course, sure.
But good luck, man. It's a difficult situation to be in, and thanks for emailing in. Hi, two men. I've just officially dating a girl, but we've been shagging for a while. And I was at a family party of hers, and she got really drunk and passed out. And me and her auntie got really cozy, and what I would say we end up flirting. Guys, I can't stop fantasizing over the auntie.
God.
Even when me and my girl are having sex, I think about the auntie. I know it would destroy our relationship, and it probably wouldn't go anywhere with the auntie if I tried to be in contact with her, but am I a bad person for wanting to chase it? Please, honesty is the best policy. Let me know your thoughts.
I think you're fantasizing because you got a bit flirtatious. I think the auntie's not even thinking about you right now. You've seen a woman. I think most guys, and this doesn't want. I don't want to sound sexist here, but most guys, if a woman flirts with them, they automatically think that's it, like they're in there. Or even some guys, if a woman's nice to them, they get like dumbfounded by fucking barmaids constantly because a barmaid's paid to be nice to you. But I think the worst thing you could possibly do to this girl is try and run away with her auntie. Do you know what I mean? So the intent for you, what I would look at in this situation would be, do you like this girl enough because you're clearly fantasizing about other people? And if the ultimate thing that you get to is that you don't like the girl enough, that doesn't then mean pursue the auntie. That means you're killing that relationship dead in the water. Move on. Like there's no pursuing the auntie. Like it's just not going to happen.
Not unless it was some crazy porno.
Yeah. Not unless you're like in the 1970s like porno and the jazz starts playing when you see the auntie every time she walks in the room or something. But it's just like it's a fantasy. People have fantasies. Like you had a little bit of a flirt when you were drunk. Leave it at that. It doesn't need to be any more than that. If you like this girl enough, after a while, it will all be forgotten about, and you just don't need to tell anyone other than us about what has happened. But if you continue with the doubts around your girlfriend, you're never going. Pursuing the aunt is just not your option. So you just got to face it. Do you know what I mean? Like
I love just the fact that there's not even like a
I'm not even
5%
giving
chance.
it. I'm not even giving it.
Like to me, if like you've seen this girl and she warned you about her auntie, and she's like
promiscuous, or
yeah,
whatever.
she keeps doing this, keeps doing that, and then you start flirting, you're like, oh, okay, that's probably why they didn't want you to be around her because she. But yeah, I agree. Like it's the thought of something new, right? Of something surprising or like something spontaneous that you're like
a little bit naughty.
Yeah, because obviously you weren't out to flirt, and then when it comes out of nowhere, you're like, hang on a minute, I might be. What's going on here? I kind of like this, and like it does. It just fucking you'll fantasize over it a bit, like you are at the minute, and then it subsides and it's gone, and you're a bit sort of like, eh. The same with like if you flirt with someone at work. At the beginning, you're sort of like, oh, this is kind of risky, and then it just gets mundane and tedious, yeah, and you're like, don't really want to do that anymore. So it's like, I'm never going to say never. I'd say there was like a 5% chance. If your girlfriend was like, oh, my auntie's never, like if she hints towards her auntie being feisty,
yeah,
there's your 5%. But if she's never mentioned it and she was quite happy for you to meet her auntie, I doubt there's anything going to happen.
100%, yeah.
I still believe in the fact that men were put on this earth to basically fuck as much as they can and have as many kids as they can, which is why when you flirting with a random woman, you're all of a sudden you're like, oh, even though you know it's wrong and
there's fantasy like a lot of these porn, especially, has fucked people's psyches up over the years. And like, I know a guy very well, and he told me stonewall to my face that he had sex with someone's mum while she was downstairs waiting for him, and he's upstairs sleeping with the mum, which is clear bullshit. Do you know what I mean? But that guy, that's a fantasy, obviously, the geezer's had, and he's like tried to play it off as though it was a real story, yeah. And that is as far as you're going to get with this auntie thing. That like, I'm sorry, I'm almost, I would say 97% sure that this ain't going nowhere. Do you know what I mean? This ain't going nowhere. Sorry to burst your bubble, but no, you're not a bad person for fantasizing. These things happen. You're a bad person if you try and pursue anything. And if you've got doubts for your girlfriend, I think it's time to start either knocking it on the head or pursue and try and put a bit more effort into your relationship. But I think the fantasy is enough to show you've got a doubt. So it's just how you play it now and go
I
from there.
every now and again, well, not so much now. I used to go through like phases of like vintage porn
Vintage porn.
because like the acting in the new stuff, like the browsers, is fucking terrible. Back then, they put a little bit more into their acting. And one of my all-time favorite scenes, I can't remember, was the film called Private Teacher. It's the title didn't matter because it actually meant it was nothing to do with teaching whatsoever. But there's this scene towards the end, and the main guy in it that was sleeping with people, he's like falling asleep on like this like chair with his trousers open and his dick hanging out. And the auntie, he lives at his auntie's, and the auntie and her friend come into the room and they see him asleep with his wang out, and they get down and they're like, look at the size of his wang, it's massive. And the auntie's like, just what we doing? We got to leave. Like, this is embarrassing. And the friend's like, no, we've got to put it back in his pants. And then they end up playing with him, and he wakes up, and then he ends up banging the auntie and the friend. Great fucking scene, but completely like it never happened. It would never
No,
happen ever in a million years. You're like, oh, that's a pretty cool fucking scenario, but no, I'm
no.
sorry, it doesn't happen. No, how
That
much you want
shit
it?
doesn't even happen in PlayStation games. Do you know what I
No,
mean? Like, this shit don't happen.
if it didn't happen in GTA, it didn't happen at all.
No, exactly.
That was such a good fucking. I think I've got that still on like my box thing that has all my movies on it. That's like the one film, that one vintage movie that I kept.
Mate,
I'm sure it is.
I remember the first. There's a guy that makes a joke about doing post porn things, so he wants to find out what actually happened at the end of these stories. But I remember the first time I ever watched porn, proper porn, was one of them vintage things with like the jazz music and all that shit.
Mm.
And I was fucking way too young to have acquired this copy that I had copied. And because I was watching it, I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know anything about like where things were going or what was happening. So I was just looking in like this. I just remember watching it, and it was almost like watching a horror film. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I'm just sitting there, just watching it. And I remember me and my mates all just gathered around just the TV, just looking at it, and we're like, "Is that what actually happens?" And then someone else would be like, "Yeah, I did that with my girlfriend. Yeah." And I was thinking, we were all way too young. We didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Eurotrash was my thing. That got me. That got
Eurotrash,
me.
yeah.
Fucking
Channel
love
4 used to
Eurotrash.
be a big help to like the young teenage boys.
Yeah, all the soft core and stuff. Love Eurotrash. I would say good luck, but it's not happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, have a good Christmas.
We would have. Oh, sorry. We would have been liars if we sat here saying, "Oh yeah, there's a good chance. There's a 50% chance it's going to happen." No, it's not, bruv.
I'll throw that out though. If it does fucking happen, please email back in because you will be a champ. Like, I'm not telling you to go do it, but if organically something happens, you're not banging this person's auntie, I'll give you an imaginary Eiffel Tower. I'm getting to know a guy at the moment, and he's lovely, and we seem to get along. But one thing really is soul destroying about him. He is from a religious family, and he doesn't come out to his parents, and doesn't seem to have any ambition to. I don't want to get my feelings hurt if he just decides to drop me because his parents do not agree with his choices. But at the same time, I don't want to be a dirty secret. I'm thinking this is just too much hassle for a new relationship to get into. What's your takes? So this is a gay one, Jay. Just to let you know.
Well, yeah, I assume when he said about coming out and stuff,
Like, sometimes we get into these conversations and then
I've assumed it's a woman normally.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot to take on. I like obviously us never being in these type of relationships, we don't really know, but it's a lot to take on. I feel as though that's got to be a personal thing for each person, and for I'm so ignorant to it. I don't really know how it works, but like if you're at a different stage where you're openly out, and the guy you're with isn't, then in my eyes, it's like kind of a decision that guy needs to make. Like, is he going to be openly out as well and decide to tell everyone, or is he, because like it's not fair on the listener to be the secret. I think you can give him time and give him a time scale, like say like, look, I don't want you to be like rushing into telling people, and but don't be like, oh, I'm going to turn up at Christmas and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be as camp as fucking they can be.
Arse's
Do you know what I mean?
comes in with Arse's chaps.
Yeah, yeah, like Mike Tyson at the end of the Jake Paul fight when he like shakes Matey Boy's hand and walks off and his ass is out. And I also wouldn't go in there like it's happened in the past where people were just introduced as their friend. I wouldn't be happy with that either because then that's kind of people just pretending that it doesn't happen. It's not happening. And I think in this day and age, that's not enough to be in a relationship with someone. I think if you are just the friend, then that's like they're almost not accepting you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I think like from all the 90 Days that I watched, I think there's two different people, right? And this way you've got to sort of decide where you want to be because obviously that with it being religious family and stuff like that, this person needs someone behind them, right? To give them confidence, to give them strength, and to sort of help them open up to their family. So you've either got to be that person that
Is the
wants to
support
take the
network.
time, wants to take the time, wants to, because they know that they're going to work out, and that giving him strength and him the ability to talk to his family and know that you're still there to help him out is a massive thing. Like, don't get me wrong, but it is also a massive burden as well to have to pretend and have to like tiptoe, and you don't know when he's going to get the courage
I think that's
do it.
massively like a decision that our listener needs to make. Like, do they want to be the person to guide them through it, or is that too much for them to want to deal with? And that is the decision that needs to be made. Because, like, for me, if I was established in my life and happy where I am, for me to then, I would have to really like that person
Yeah.
to go through what could have been a horrible coming out for me if I was already coming out, already out or whatever. I could be reliving fucking past traumas or whatever.
Mm.
Or you're happy to do it. The person's you like them enough to be able to help push through it. But then it's almost like you've got to have a mix of patience and enough pushiness, so they just don't think that you can just coast along. Because I think people will just quite happily coast along and not act on things because humans we don't like to rock the boat too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's a couple that I always make fun of on 90 Days because I'd said to them before, they just cry about everything. Like they're a really good couple and they're really good together, but they both just fucking, as soon as you speak, they just end up crying. But it was an American guy and a Mexican guy, and the American guy is moving to Mexico to marry this guy, and he still hasn't come out to his family,
Which is mad.
which is crazy, yeah. But obviously in Mexico, they're very like macho sort of. They're not very. So he sort of moves over and he like helps him out, and he's there, and he comes out, and in the end, after all that worry and stuff like that, like the mum accepts him, and the dad took a little bit longer, but they all went to the wedding, and they all showed their support and all that sort of stuff because at the end of the day, the son's your son, right?
Yeah, and I think some people like don't get me wrong, we still got a lot of bigots in this world. And I use bigot as a word because that's what I think is left for these type of people. But if your parents cannot accept that you are a certain way inclined, then that's their problem. It's not the person's problem. And sometimes I think nowadays, like maybe like people that were coming out 10, 15 years ago when it was less accepted, you kind of got it because like they were like their parents had been in the wars and stuff and they were like stiff upper lip bullshit. But now when you've had it, it's been going around and been very open in the world for the last 30 years. We don't need. I don't think there's a lot of people left on this earth that I like. If my like, we've got three brothers in my family. Me, my two brothers. I think if one of us come out gay, my mum and dad wouldn't care. Like, yeah, it might take them a little bit of getting used to because obviously they realise they're not getting grandkids from. Well, some people do have grandkids now, but grandkids from them and they're like a domestic normal family. in like the normal sense, they might see it that way. But my mum would still love us exactly the same, and so would my dad. And my dad is pretty much the most straight laced guy going. Do you know what I mean? So he's not going to be. If you were to look back in 20 years' time after, whoever, whichever one of my brothers it was, they would be happy. Do you know what I mean?
I
And
think
I don't
it's
think there's many parents that wouldn't do that nowadays, unless they've got real fucking religious beliefs or something.
it's hard to see that though when like you're so worried about what people think. It's hard to see that at the end of the day they're still your parents and that
Yeah.
by right they should still.
And he did say they're religious, didn't he? And the religious aspect plays a part, but religion isn't everything. And like I'm watching, this is slightly thing, but I'm watching I'm a Celebrity at the minute.
Right.
I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and they've got some reverend guy on it who used to be in the Common Arts, and this reverend is a gay dude who was in like a gay marriage for years
Mm.
and is openly gay, but he's also a reverend at the same time, which then like to other Christians would probably be fucking sacrilege.
Yeah.
But like there is grey areas, and this guy's living in it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think you can. I think religion. I think people hide behind religion, and I think if they decide to disown this guy because of the religious beliefs, then fair be it on them. Like that's their own problem, and this guy needs to be supported through it. But I think our listener needs to realise how much they like this person and whether they're willing to support them through it, through thick or thin, whether they're going to be accepted or not. You've got to realise how much you like this guy to help him through it.
I don't think it would be unacceptable to be like to not be together, but to say, you know, if you need someone to talk to, if you're having a tough time, like, you know, keeping it a secret. Because I don't like you don't either. Like you don't know what it is to keep a secret like that.
No,
So
exactly.
there's
We're completely. We'd have no clue.
no, but at the same time, like it's not completely different from normal relationships either. I mean, just because it's, I mean, we
No, it's
make
just
out
an
that
extra
it's,
aspect.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So we can still sort of surprise what, like, you know, think about what it could be. But I think because it's a lot, I think if the listener didn't want to fully commit to something like that, I think just to be like, oh, you know, I'm here if you need to talk, or you know, if you decide you want to do it and you need someone in your corner, you know, I'm more than happy to be that sort of person. I don't think that's unreasonable and hurtful in any way. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to waste time, but you also because it's hard, right? You don't know how long it could be years until he wants to come out.
Yeah, like people are in different stages of their life in general. Like
Yeah,
if he doesn't want to come out, it doesn't help that we don't know these guys' ages and stuff as well. If he doesn't want to come out anytime soon, then that's a decision he's making for your relationship. That's how I would see it. Because if you're saying you don't want to be that secret in it, if he's saying, "Well, I'm not willing to come out yet," then that's a decision made there. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. It's hard, and we appreciate you sending the email in. I think at the end of the day, because obviously you know him, it'd be a little bit easier to decide. But I think, yeah, I think if you're already out and he has no signs of doing it anytime soon, I think breaking it off would be the best thing for both of you. But just don't leave him on his
In the
Todd
lurch.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs because I like this is what I mean. Because I don't know what's going on, right? But I think to myself, like when it comes to that sort of coming out, I think it's the people that you meet that you see that have already done it that helps you do it yourself.
Yeah, that's how I would see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think to myself, like, yeah, it's fair enough you don't want to be together, but don't, you know, just be like, oh, you know, see you later. Like he may still need help long like down the line.
Yeah.
But thanks for the email. Sometimes it's nice to have like discussions like that just to see if, especially if we get the feedback to see how wrong we are. Be like, these two straight guys have no idea what they're fucking talking about. Hey, I'm, you know, 90% straight. Like I said, if I'm bored, I could lean that way for a little bit. I couldn't stay there. I could do it. My own mum is slut shaming me because she went on my iPad last night and found videos of me masturbating that I've been sending to a guy I'm dating. I told her it's a normal thing nowadays, but she thinks I'm acting shamefully and that I should have more respect for myself. Is sending videos to a guy slutty? No.
Tell your mum
Fuck off.
to mind her business. Why is she going through your fucking iPad anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
in my eyes, people have been sending dick pics since we've fucking been able to take pictures. So doing like if you're dating someone and you choose to send them a nude or you choose to send them a video of yourself or whatever, so be it. It's a free world.
I think as long as you trust the person, because I don't think like
there's some pieces of shit.
Yeah, like all that revenge stuff and all that thing was horrendous. Like if someone's trusting you to send this stuff, then that's as far as it should go. No matter how horrible someone. Well, okay, I'll take that back. You shouldn't really do it, right? Yeah, obviously, if someone's fucking all your mates and stuff like that, then
yeah,
I could be swayed to another. But like those things are between you two, right? And if you trust him, then there shouldn't be any sort of problem. Just be like, well, I'm sorry, like back in your day, you had to fucking fax a picture over or something. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't do it on dial-up, love.
I remember. This is fucking like fucking teenage fucking high school shit. I remember like having a Sony Ericsson, which probably had like a 1 megapixel camera, yeah. And we were like, because you couldn't even send things to each other, you'd have to like fully connect it to the like fucking.
Or it'll cost you like £2 a fucking picture.
Yeah. You'd have to like fully connect to a computer. So what we used to do is we used to fucking exchange the little memory cards, little SD cards that you'd put in. And that's how a girl would send you nudes back in the day. Do you know what I mean? And we've been doing it since the invention of the 1 megapixel camera on a Sony Ericsson. That's got to be. When would the fucking Sony Ericsson come out? Like 2005. It's been going on for 20 years.
Those, yeah.
It's been going on for 20 years. Tell your mum to grow up. Tell her to grow up.
I remember my mum said that she used to have a picture of my real dad's ding dong, and that when she met my stepdad, he found it and he threw it away. So you know what I mean? Like they still gave photos. You just actually had to fucking give it to them.
It was a physical thing back in the day.
I remember getting a letter from a girl and it having photos in it, like physical photos, and you had to go to fucking Boots back in the day. You had to go to like an actual shop. And the person that developed your photos got to see them.
Mate, I had albums and albums on my computer back in the day where I was screenshotting webcam stuff that we were doing on fucking MSN.
Mate, I think I still have the floppy disks somewhere in my house. I used to like all the like the fake celebrity stuff. I used to have fucking catalogued. I used to have floppy disks with like Kirsten Dunst on it and stuff like that. And each floppy disk just had hundreds of fake pictures of these people. I didn't make them. I just downloaded them off the internet. Loads of them. Put them in my... What was that? It wasn't before the... It was like the Apple design computer. It was just a monitor. I can't remember what it was called.
I know what you're talking about.
And like the backs were different colours. Yeah, I had one of them because I did design. So all it had was like a floppy disk drive. Just fucking popping floppy disks in it.
That's what I mean. Like as soon as we had the technology to enable us to do that type of shit when we were teenagers, we were doing it. So it's nothing new. Especially now, you're a grown adult. Oh, I assume they're a grown adult, writing into us anyway. They're above the age of consent. They're 18. They're sending a picture to a guy who's ready and willing to accept the picture.
Probably send them back as well.
Probably sending stuff back. There's no harm, no foul. Do you know what I mean? Like as long as you trust that person, I don't think it's slutty in the slightest.
No,
it's a normal way of flirting nowadays.
Yeah, it doesn't even cross my fucking mind. With social media, people take like fucking hundreds of pictures a day. Not nude ones, but I mean, you know what I mean? That's just the way.
Unsolicited dick pics is a different matter.
Yeah, it is.
Just getting absolute... Because I know girls that have got Tinder and they're bombarded with penises.
Yeah.
Fucking... like a genuine fucking thing that you're sending back and forth with someone that you're chatting to is different. Do you know what I mean?
But like I always say, because I think we said it in the last episode as well, like when Brian was on and stuff like that. people are leaving. Teachers, doctors, nurses, police, army veterans are all leaving these like really established jobs to send photos and things of their tits and that because it makes more money. It's a business now.
There's a famous singer that's actually making more money from
Kate Nash.
Yeah, that's
She's selling pictures of her ass to pay for a fucking tour.
Yeah. There you go.
That's what I mean.
That sums up this world.
Maybe say like, because I was watching that. I said to you I was watching that Most Hated Man on the Internet, the Hunter thingy. That was what, like 10, 12 years ago. Then it was still considered a little bit like
trashy.
It was still happening. Yeah, it was still happening, but it wasn't, like it is now. Nowadays, I would sit on a bus and see some guy looking at his missus on a fucking, and I wouldn't bat an eyelid at it. You know what I mean? Be like, what's the fucking?
Because I think when like that Most Hated Guy stuff happened, that type of stuff was all new.
Yeah.
Now you're 10, 15 years later, no one gives a fuck anymore about any of that stuff.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Lily Allen sends photos of her feet. She makes more money off her feet than she does of anything else.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
So I wouldn't think any shameful or anything of yourself. Like, I wouldn't. It's just your mum being. I bet you anything. It was more the fact that she's seen you doing it that's shocked her, not the fact that you're doing it. Like
100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that if you're like, oh shit, there's my daughter
defiling herself.
Yeah, like I didn't want to see that. I didn't need to see that, and now I can't unsee it.
There's my baby.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that is literally it. I think she's just. It was a reaction to her seeing it. If she hadn't seen it, the reaction would have been totally different. I think next time, put a fucking like face lock on your fucking iPad and tell your mother to keep out. It is a bit weird, yeah. And on that note, remember, guys, what we brought up earlier about the Brewdog Studio. If you think it's a good idea, make sure you add that into your emails at twomennohope@gmail.com. And of course, your questions, your content ideas, and your feedback. Send it our way. Send it our way. And I'll see you on the next one, Dad.